If you don't think ballot harvesting happens in the state of Kansas, I invite you to come to my district during the 20 days between the mailing of mail-in ballots and Election Day in November. Because all of a sudden, you know, I'm out knocking doors trying to get out my voters to go vote for my House seat, and all of a sudden there are all these college kids, and they're knocking all the doors I don't knock for the people who don't usually vote, because somewhere in Washington, D.C. or someplace, they're using AI to identify voters who never vote, but if they did vote, they'd vote Democrat, and then they just hammer them with pre-filled ballot, mail-in ballot application after pre-filled mail-in ballot application until they finally sign one and send it in. And then they show up on their doorstep because it's public record who's requested a mail-in ballot. They send some college kids show up on the doorstep. Hey, I think there's something in your mailbox. Holy cow, it's a ballot. Would you like help filling it out? Would you like me to carry it in for you? And then they do, if you do that, I won my district the second time by like 144 votes. You do that 150 times, you change the outcome of my election, right? And they didn't do it, but they didn't do it enough to vote me out. So, on the subject, the broader subject of ballot harvesting, and I promise I'm getting to your specific nursing home question. On the subject of ballot harvesting, we've done a lot to try to combat this. Signature verification. Every mail-in ballot has to be signed by the voter, and then the clerk has to verify that the signature matches the signature on file. And if it doesn't, they have to cure that ballot. They have to contact the voter and get the voter to come in. You can only turn in 10 ballots that are not your own. I'd like it to be 0 or 1, but I had to get enough votes to override a veto, and some folks didn't vote with me the first time. So this issue of pre-filled applications, we made that illegal. It didn't stay illegal, and that's where I'm going. But we passed these laws to try to combat ballot harvesting, and there is a concerted effort to fight us on every single law. They hate when I call them this, so I call them this all the time, the Axis of Ballot Harvesting. You've got the ACLU, LoudLight, Appleseed, League of Women Voters. Every time we pass a law to combat ballot harvesting, they sue us because they don't want ballot harvesting illegal. They want you to not have any confidence in the election, so you stay home, and the only ballots that get counted are the ones they harvest. And so I'm like, gosh, how are they getting all the money to sue us on every single law? And so when I dug into it, I discovered that there's a loophole in our law. Because they're nonprofit and supposedly nonpartisan, even though they only back liberal causes, they are able to rake in millions of dollars of anonymous money, including money from George Soros, including money from foreign billionaires. And then they use it to engage in our elections and to sue us on our election laws. The Value Them Both Amendment fight that we had in 2022, ACLU, hiding behind this Kansans for Constitutional Freedom moniker, is ACLU. Used they said they spent $11 million on that campaign to vote no. 1.6 million of it came from one Swiss billionaire who was not even an American citizen. And that's just what I know about. There's probably more foreign money in there. That's what I know about. And so this year we passed a law, I carried on the floor, we were able to pass, that makes it illegal for any of these nonprofits to use foreign money in our elections. And I know I hit the mark because they're suing me on that law too. So I know I hit the mark. Yeah, but some other things I would like to do on this ballot harvesting issue includes the nursing homes. There's laws in other states that require, if you're going to go pick up a ballot for somebody in a nursing home, in a nursing facility, a Republican and Democrat have to go together, and they have to be certified by the clerk in that county. So that would at least prevent strangers from out of town from coming and just, harvesting. There are some things that we can do on this issue, but right now I'm just trying to put out the fire, because every time I pass a law, they sue it. They sued the 3-day grace period and just lost in court. So yeah. Do I think that Kansas elections are replete with fraud and that they're being stolen every election year? No, I do not. But I will tell you, there are people in our state who do. And let us all be honest with each other. More of them are Republicans than Democrats. So we are the ones who are suffering the consequences of the erosion of voter confidence. So everything that I'm working on in the legislature is about restoring confidence. Is there a vast conspiracy to print out, to request ballots for voters that don't know they're getting ballots and vote them without the voter knowing and turn them back in? I do not believe that. I've not seen any evidence of that. But there are people who believe it. So if I can pass measures that improve the security, like signature verification, like requiring a driver's license number to request the ballot, if I can pass those things so that I can tell people that have that concern, because they come to my committee, and I'm not going to shout them down, I'm going to let them share their concern with me, and I'm going to tell them, did you know that in Leavenworth County and every other county in the state, we check every single signature. If it doesn't match, they have to come cure their ballot. Do you know that in order to request the ballot, they have to put their driver's license number, as a proof of ID? So it's not about stopping some vast conspiracy to steal our elections. It's about restoring confidence for those folks that have lost confidence, so we can bring them back into the process. And I feel very passionately about this. The reason I feel very passionately about this, I did 25 years in the Army. I was in Iraq, I was in Afghanistan. I've seen what it looks like when people no longer believe that they can settle their problems at the ballot box, when people no longer believe that they can settle their problems with civil processes. They pick up guns and they shoot each other over their differences. And I swore an oath. That oath didn't end when I took off my uniform. That oath to defend the Constitution, defend our form of government, defend our way of life, I took that oath for life. And so if I can have some impact on restoring confidence in those civil processes, bringing people back in, defending our Constitution, our form of government, our way of life, I'm going to do it.